That's what you've earned here tonight. This is your time. You meant to be here tonight. Tonight, we stay with them. And we shut them down because we can. This is your time. Go out there and take it.
Well, let me welcome everybody here today. We're really excited about this new era in our football program. There are a couple things that I want to do first before we get on with the rest of this. Number one, I want to thank people for being here. This is awesome. Community members, faculty and staff. I especially want to thank members of the football team that are here, because at the end of the day, this is for you and it's about you. And we're excited about that. I also want to recognize a couple of people. You know, when you do a search like this, it's not a one-man show. There were a lot of people that were involved in providing insight and helping bounce ideas off of. I want to thank Dr. Cunningham, our Executive Vice President, Steve Lohman, Vice President for Administration, Dr. David Pakey, Associate VP for University Relations, Steve Valencia, and our Dean of Students, Student Affairs and Enrollment, Caleb Mossberg. And I also want to thank my staff, my Associate ADs, Ryan Kaiser and Wendy McManus, because when I'm out of the office doing the work and trying to get this search completed, they're the ones that are left behind to pick up the pieces and pick up the slack, and I really appreciate they're outstanding at what they do. A little bit about the process. When the position came open, it was fast and furious. We had over 100 people reach out and connect with interest in the position. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact of where the program has come in the last 3 years, the facility improvements, the scholarship improvements, and the fact that Ranger football has made a step forward, even though sometimes on the field, wins and loss-wise, we may not think so, but I can tell you from the inside, it has definitely made a step forward, and this was indicative of that. The quality of people, the quality of the applicants that were interested was actually a little bit overwhelming. We quickly moved the pool to 5 people that fit the profile, and I began the process of interacting with them and going to meet them face to face. One of the parts about this process that's very important to me is that I can see them while I'm talking to them, and that I can see their mannerisms and their responses. And I'll tell you, after meeting with each person, it was very, very evident that Matt Walter was the right choice for this position. He's highly intelligent, he's driven, he's experienced, he's a winner, and he's a Ranger. And at this time, for the introduction of Matt, I'd like to have our president, Dr. Janet Cunningham, come and say a few words.
Good morning, and thank you all for being here today. And before I introduce our next head football coach, I want to say a word to the current players and coaches who are in attendance. As Andy said, this season was certainly one of some unexpected challenges, and change is often a good thing, but change in the middle of a season is not a great situation. However, even though the season had its ups and downs, you pulled together, continued working, and that sense of teamwork and dedication paid off at the end of the season with wins in the final 2 games, including a win over rival Southwestern. So I commend you for that. I thank you for that. Thank you for representing our university and yourselves with great pride. As we began the process of looking for a new football coach, we had a laundry list of qualities that were going to be required. We sought a great leader, a hard worker, a coach who would lead by example in both areas. We looked for someone who had a track record of success and knew what was required to build a successful program. We insisted upon someone who would demand excellence and accountability on and off the field, and definitely in the classroom. And finally, we wanted someone who would bring passion and excitement to our program. And we found every one of those qualities in Matt Walter. Coach Walter has been a part of Northwestern's greatest championship moments. And if you can see, I'm wearing some jewelry today from that, moment back in 1999. As a player, he was known for toughness and hard work, and he has brought those characteristics with him to the coaching position. Players have Coach Walter tell you the story of the national semifinal game against the University of Mary. Now, I don't think he'll do it justice, but there's lots of people who could. Coach Walter was instrumental in the building a culture of success at Emporia State University, and I know he is chomping at the bit to do the same here. It's a rare opportunity to coach at your alma mater, but we are excited to welcome home one of our own. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the next head football coach at Northwestern Oklahoma State University, Matt Walter.
Wow, it's overwhelming. I appreciate everybody being here today for this announcement, and thank you for all the nice things you said about me. Anyway, I had notes written down, but I'm going to speak from my heart. It's kind of amazing how life tends to put you where you're supposed to be. Back when I was 17 years old and I came up here, Dr. Loman gave me my first opportunity as a walk-on here. Walk on, and I appreciate that. And I see a lot of familiar faces from that time too. And wow, it's an honor to be here. It holds a special place in my heart. It's kind of where I grew up. I didn't grow up here, but I grew up here. And it taught me a lot of lessons in life. Alva's a special place. Northwestern's a special place with special people. It kind of draws you in. And I've never forgot that. Been several other places since. Throughout my coaching journey, but at the same time, I always knew somehow that I'd end up back here. Even my former teammates, the sport's been overwhelming. When this process started about 2 months ago, when I started really thinking about it, because a lot of my former teammates, former players here, kept texting me, calling me, hey, you need to go get this job. All right, this is a job for you. This is a job that you wanted. You've always wanted. And throughout that process, the support from the community in Alva has been unbelievable, and it's truly heartfelt for me. And it's truly impacted me in a great way, great way. I mean, and it means a lot, means a lot. So I'd also like to thank Dr. Cunningham and Andy Carter for their vision for what this program should be, could be, and seeing those qualities in me. You know, I hope to do them proud and all the former alums, Ranger alums proud in this position. I'd also like to thank my coaching mentors. There's been a lot along the way, a whole bunch. But, you know, I've taken a little bit of everything, or a little bit from everybody. But the two really, really most influential people in this journey for me and leading me to this point is Coach Garen Higgins, who was a former coach here, but I've worked for him the last 6 years and I played for him. And Coach Hal Mummy, who's the current coach at Belhaven in Mississippi. He was my boss for 5 years at New Mexico State. He was the head football coach. Those two men have truly shown me the way and how to be a head coach. You know, the do's and don'ts, the rights and wrongs, the challenges involved. Challenges involved, it's not about the X's and O's. I mean, it's really not. I mean, the hardest part is getting them into the field. You know, the easiest part or the most fun part is going out there and teaching them the fundamentals it takes to be successful. But the hardest part is all those little things and not cutting corners. And they showed me the challenge it's going to be and to build this program where we want it to be, where it belongs. This place has great tradition, a lot of championships. With that great tradition and championships comes great responsibility for those of us leading this program forward. And that's called Ranger Pride. And we used to say that building this program back in the day, you know, everything's built on Ranger Pride. That's pride in the classroom, that's pride in the weight room, that's pride on the practice field, pride in the film room, pride in the community. You know, pride on your trips when you go on your visiting trips and you're out. You know, wearing it with pride and showing it what it takes to be a champion and get to that level that we want to be at, and that this program deserves, and the school deserves, this community deserves. And you know, it's going to take a lot of hard work to put the product on the field that you're going to be proud of. And just a little bit about on the field. You know, I believe in fundamentals being the primary cornerstone of any team, but particularly in football. You know, that's how you can be a little bit less talented if you have better fundamentals. And every coach knows that, but does every coach truly practice that? And that's what I truly believe will be the building block to begin with. We're going to be attacking defense, create turnovers. You know, on a defense that never starts where they finish. Never starts where they finish. The game's become so quarterback driven too that, you know, you got to mess with the quarterbacks and you can't give them clear reads. So, and then on offense, it's going to be, I guess a lot of people call it basketball on turf. You know, no huddle, high tempo, fast as you can go. Create a lot of stress for the defense. And you know, I'm an offensive guy. That's my background, but I also know what I hate seeing from a defense. So anyway, thank you guys for all being here. You know, like I said, I'm truly thrilled to be here, blessed to be here. It does feel like home, and Ride Rangers Ride.
All right, at this time, we'll entertain some questions. I'll take a seat here next to Coach Walter, and we're all available for questions if there are any. So we'll go ahead and start there. Just raise your hand and I'll point you out. Randy.
Coach, what about coaching staff? I know you've got a lot to do.
Oh yeah, obviously one of the first priorities on my list is the staff, and got a lot of people interested. You wouldn't believe as soon as it came out on Football Scoop yesterday, you wouldn't believe the people emailing me, calling me. I mean, people I don't know, people I know.
A lot of former Rangers?
A few, yeah, and definitely a few on the list, on the short list, a few that I've already talked to. Won't say their name at the time, but definitely involved, definitely involved.
Any other questions? Yes. Johnny.
I don't have a question. I just want to let Matt know that the Rowdy Rangers will be behind him 100%.
Can't wait. Can't wait to hear that horn.
So he remembers.
Oh, yeah.
And he actually mentioned you by name last night, Johnny. He remembers.
I'll be there for him.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely. Can't wait. Can't wait to hear it.
Coach?
Can you tell us about your family?
I have 2 boys, a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. They live in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And my parents live in Fort Worth, Texas, where I grew up. And that's the whole family I got. There you go. They are easy.
What's the transition process, Andy, going forward with Matt?
Yeah, Matt, he's actually leaving here, heading to Albuquerque for the Thanksgiving week, and then we'll be back on campus about Tuesday next week. The official start date is December 1st, but he's already working. I can attest to that. As I was walking him around campus last night, some of these stuff that we've done in the last short years, even the field house, he's not ever seen the inside of it. And so we were showing him around, and he was just really impressed with the moves we've made with facilities. But his phone was just blowing up the entire time, and we've talked about, obviously, staff, recruiting, you know, those are right at the top of the list. Meeting with the team, which is going to happen this afternoon at 2 o'clock. And then, you know, starting to evaluate those guys on the video that we have to give him a sense of where we are, and then we can kind of plot where we need to go. So, you know, he's fully on board, and we're really, really excited about that. Yes.
Coach, with where you've been in New Mexico and, of course, in Kansas, does that give you a little bit better opportunity to get some different people in here, maybe in recruiting?
Oh, definitely.
Seeing a lot of different kids?
Definitely. I mean, you know, I mean, I've lived from everywhere from Oklahoma, Kansas, Louisiana, Texas, and New Mexico, all that touch Oklahoma. And, you know, I think I have a good feel for the region and the players that we need to get to bring in here from the region. And, of course, it's amazing how many former Rangers are coaches in high school. And I think I counted, there's 10 at Texas alone that are coaches. And then, of course, Oklahoma, there's way, you know, a lot more. So, I mean, they've already reached out to me. Hey, these kids, you know, pushing on me already. And hey, recruiting never stops, first of all. But yeah, it definitely gives me a little bit of an advantage from. It's not like I'm coming from somewhere that I don't know this region. I recruit Texas. Well, at Emporia, I exclusively recruited Texas and Kansas City. So those were my 2 areas. And then I did all the junior college recruiting in California and Arizona. So that helps too.
So you might sneak a few away from Higgins?
That's the plan. That's the plan.
Eventually, though, there's going to be some battles, and we've already kind of joked about it. But yeah, he keeps getting all these players out of state, out of Oklahoma. Can't have that anymore, right?
Right. Borders closed.
That's right. That's right.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Coach, we wonder what type of offense you plan on running.
Spread, no huddle, you know, multiple formations, multiple personnels, go as fast as we can. My goal is to run 85 plays a game. And I'm going to definitely talk to you guys a lot more about that this afternoon, because I want you guys to be able to, you know, talk and speak freely about that too. But offensively, you know, it's going to be balanced. I mean, I balance the run and pass. But if you look at my numbers over the last 4 years, you know, averaging over 40 points a game, and, you know, between 400 and 500 yards a game, you know, it's going to be balanced, but definitely attract me. And offensively, you got to keep the defenses off balance, and then defensively, you got to keep the quarterback off balance, so you don't know where to go with the ball. And that's what we'll be doing.
Okay, well, thank you all for coming. We're really excited about what's getting ready to happen here. And obviously, Matt will be around on campus starting after about December 2nd. And if you see him, and you know, just, well, don't hold him up because he's busy. All right, thank you all for coming.